Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to the webinar, Secure Your Confidential Data with Thales CipherTrust Management and Encryption Consulting. My name is Kenesha, and I'm the Marketing Manager with Encryption Consulting. We will be starting in about another minute or two. I'll just hold tight. If you are joining us right now, maybe you can let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat. We'll start in another minute. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's session. Today, we will talk about Encryption Consulting's Data Encryption Managed Services, where we will learn how you can secure your confidential data with CipherTrust Manager and EC's Data Encryption Managed Services. We're going to kick it off right now. Before I get into everything, I'm just going to share the today's agenda with you. And we're going to just briefly talk about our team, and then we'll get into encryption key management. And from there, we'll go into an executive summary. And then we'll go into some data encryption managed services, along with EC's key services, followed by our experience with CipherTrust Manager. And then we'll get into the global trend study of 2023. And from there, we'll have some Q&A. So throughout the webinar, if you do come up with any questions, please feel free to just drop your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll definitely answer them following the webinar. So I'm going to introduce today's presenter, which I'm excited. We're going to have Pranashri, who is a senior consultant with Encryption Consulting. She has around 10 years of experience in supporting global clients with architecture design, assessments, end-to-end implementation of various data protection technologies, including data encryption, PKI, data classification, data masking, and tokenization. As for myself, I'm a marketing manager with Encryption Consulting. I have 13 years of experience as an event manager, utilizing the power of events to drive organization ROI. I'm also an international experience managing and marketing events manager from small to large scale events for various industries. And I'm very passionate about building strong communities to foster inclusion and growth. So I'm very happy to have Pranashri presenting today. Before we start with our topic, I would like to provide a brief overview of Encryption Consulting. We started our journey in 2018 with one person, and now we are a team of 20 people. We have provided our services to 100 and more Fortune 500 companies and 20 plus Fortune 100 companies till date. We're a specialized consulting firm that provides expert advice on the data security and data protection landscape. Our company is dedicated to helping businesses protect their sensitive data and prevent security breaches. Our team of experts has extensive experience in the field of data encryption and security, and we use this expertise to provide customized solutions and services that meet the unique needs of our clients. We work closely with our clients to understand their business processes and the data that they need to protect. And we use this knowledge to develop tailored services that are both effective and efficient. So we offer a wide range of services to our clients, including data protection assessments and strategies, designs, implementation of data protection solutions, managed services, and we also help our clients stay compliant with the data security regulations and standards. We are also strategic partners with leading technology providers such as Thales, Fortanix, AWS, Microsoft, et cetera, to deliver top-of-the-line services and solutions while ensuring compatibility with existing infrastructure. If you'd like to get more details on our services or partners, you can definitely visit our website at encryptionconsulting.com. So let's talk about our key services. Our key services include advisory services. So we're here to help clients assess their current environment and develop an effective data encryption strategies and implementation roadmap for clients. We also have implementation services, which is Encryption Consulting's implementation services included the implementation of data protection solutions, such as end-to-end PKI deployment, certificate lifecycle management solutions, encryption and key management solutions. We also help integrate other required solutions and applications with their newly built or existing systems and infrastructures. Some of our products, we have launched security solutions for code signing and certificate lifecycle management called Code Sign Secure 3.0 and Cert Secure Manager. Few of our clients are using our products and its services since the past few years, and already we have received so many very good and valuable feedback on that. And we also, of course, offer training and education, where we offer trainings on PKI, HSM, and AWS crypto services to help security personnel and our clients to improve their knowledge and skills related to data protection. You can directly register for those trainings on our website. We also have an education center where you can learn about a lot of the fundamentals and advanced security terminologies, solutions, and concepts. So that's all at your fingertips at our website there. We also have managed services which is, we offer services to help our clients manage and maintain their PKI HSM certificate, lifecycle management, and encryption and key management solutions. Our managed services include 24/7 monitoring, incident response, and issue resolution. We will talk about our data encryption managed services in detail in some of the upcoming slides. Also, Encryption Consulting started performing a survey on encryption's global trends since 2019. And with around about 4K plus experts across multiple industry sectors in various countries, which include the United States, the Middle East, Spain, Germany, Japan, Hong Kong, Mexico, the United States, South Korea, and Taiwan as major targets. So our major focus for this survey is to understand the encryption strategy and key management analysis of various firms across industries. Key management is considered one of the most important, as well as the most painful and challenging encryption technologies to handle by the majority of respondents. During the survey, we asked respondents to rate the challenging nature of key management on a scale of 0% to 100%. And the results are shown here in the figure where we provided the mean average of responses, which is 53%. In fiscal year 22. From our survey, we have also observed that the organizations tending towards expert consulting firms for handling key management lifecycle. This is mainly because of the heavy technical expertise requirements for managing keys and targeted ownership. The highest percentage of responding companies was 52%, preferred to outsource the key management to expert consulting firms, and 30% of companies wants to manage in-house. So about 18% of companies can go either way. So having said all of that, I'm happy to now pass over the rest of the presentation over to Dimitri. And again, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to add them in the Q&A where we'll get some time to answer those questions. Enjoy the webinar. Go ahead, Parna.
Thank you, Kanisha. Hello, everyone. I am Parnashri, working with Encryption Consulting as a senior consultant for past 3 years now. So before we start our discussion on the managed services, it is important to understand the fundamental concepts of what is encryption key management, its process of managing the key lifecycle, and goals of key management. So the encryption key management lifecycle is the process of securely create, store, distribute, use, replace, backup, monitoring, and destroy in cryptographic or encryption keys. So I'll talk about each of the phases. The first stage of key lifecycle management is key registration. Is that the creation of cryptographic keys. Keys can be generated through various methods, including random number generator and key derivation algorithms. Once the key is created, it should be securely stored to prevent unauthorized access, typically using encrypted repositories such as hardware security modules or encrypted databases. If you are using KMS solution or the key management solution, then the key storage may be provided by the KMS provider or other security storage systems. The storage may involve physical security measures or digital security measures, such as encryption to protect the key from unauthorized access. And how you store the keys, it's also depends on your organization's key management policies and standards and procedure. Key should be distributed securely to authorized individuals or systems. This may involve using secure communication channels such as secure TLS or SSL connection or any physical security measures. In a scenario where an insecure connection is used to distribute the cryptographic keys, then the security of any data encrypted by these keys is in question. For example, an attacker can execute a man-in-the-middle attack and steal the keys once the key is distributed. The same encryption key was used to encrypt and decrypt the data and to sign and verify digital signatures. Key rotation. Key rotation is one of the vital factor of key lifecycle management. Cryptographic keys should be rotated regularly to maintain the security of encrypted data. Key rotation involves generating new keys or to replacing the existing one and ensuring that all parties using the encryption system have access to the new keys. Then backup and recovery. This process is regularly backing up your encryption keys to ensure that they can be recovered in case of loss or damage. Key revocation. Revoking a key means that the key can no longer be used to encrypt or decrypt data, even if its crypto period is still valid. Revocation generally takes place at the time when the key is compromised. Key destruction. So destroying is a process when you completely destroy the encryption keys when no longer needed to reduce the risk of exposure of the key. So destroying a key, whether that is due to compromise or due to it is no longer being used, it deletes the key permanently from any key manager database or other storage method which was used by the organization. This makes it impossible to recreate the key unless a backup image is used. So each of these stages is critical to the effective and secure management of cryptographic keys and must be carefully planned and executed to ensure the security of the encrypted data. The encryption key management lifecycle provides a structured approach to managing cryptographic or the encryption keys and helps organizations ensure the protection and confidentiality of their sensitive data. Now coming to the goals of the encryption key management, some specific goals of encryption key management includes confidentiality. The goal of confidentiality is to ensure that encrypted data remains confidential and is only accessible by authorized personnel. Proper key management can help ensure that encryption keys are securely stored and only accessible by the authorized users. Next is integrity. The goal of integrity is to ensure that encrypted data remains unaltered during transmission and storage. So again, with the proper key management, it ensures that encryption keys are used correctly and the data is not tampered with when in the transmission or when you are storing the data. Availability, the goal of availability is to ensure that encrypted data is always accessible when needed. And it also ensures that the encryption keys are backed up. You can ensure the availability that by backing up the encryption keys securely and storing the encryption keys securely, so they can be easily accessed in case of disaster or a system failure. Centralized key management. Centralized key management is considered to be one of the best key management process deployed for an organization, and this can be easily achieved with a key lifecycle management solution. In the previous slide, we discussed the key lifecycle management process and goals, and now let's talk about the benefits of key management. There are various benefits when you have a proper key management system implemented in your organization. We'll discuss the top 5 here according to our experience or our so as discussed previously and aligned with the goals of key management, one of the benefit of confidentiality. So encryption key management ensures that only authorized individuals can access the encryption keys needed to decrypt the sensitive information. Then we have centralized key management. Encryption key management provides centralized key management of encryption keys, making it easier for organizations to manage large number of keys across multiple systems and applications. Improve data security. This helps to improve the security of sensitive data by ensuring that encryption keys are generated, stored, and distributed securely. This ensures that only authorized individuals can access the encrypted data. Regulatory and compliance. Many regulations such as HIPAA, PCI DSS require organizations to protect sensitive data using encryption. Encryption key management, encryption key management, I would say, can help organizations comply with these regulations by ensuring that the encryption keys are properly managed. Reduce risk of data loss. A proper key management reduces the risk of data loss by ensuring that encryption keys are properly managed and stored. This helps to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive data and reduces the risk of data breaches or exposure. So now coming to the ISIS data encryption managed services. We propose data encryption managed services capabilities to assist our client in building and operating data encryption program across the operating environment, leveraging the encryption and key management solution such as Thales CipherTrust Manager to implement and operate encryption capabilities. Our managed services program includes the following: application onboarding, offboarding. This service includes engaging business and the key stakeholders to configure, deploy, and enable encryption capabilities using Thales CipherTrust Manager for selected or the identified application. Policy and key management operations. We help our clients to design, configure, tune, and manage their encryption policies, encryption keys, and security tool sets to continuously enable encryption capabilities across the operating environment using the CipherTrust Manager or any other encryption or key management solution the organization is using. Coming to health monitoring, issue resolution, and reporting are important components of data encryption managed services to ensure that the encryption solution or the CipherTrust Manager is functioning properly and data remains secure. Health monitoring involves continuous monitoring of CipherTrust Manager to ensure that it is functioning optimally. This includes monitoring the encryption status of data, the availability of encryption keys, and the overall performance of the CipherTrust manager. Monitoring should be automated and provide alerts to notify support staff for any issues. In the event of an issue with the CipherTrust manager, a process for timely and effective resolution is in place. This includes a team of our managed services resources available to address issues as they arise. Our managed services resources have the necessary training and expertise to troubleshoot and resolve issues quickly to minimize downtime and prevent data loss exposure. Reporting is an essential component of managed services as it provides transparency into the performance of the encryption solution or the CipherTrust manager. Reports are generated regularly and provide information on the encryption status of the data, any issues that have arisen and been resolved, and the overall health of the encryption solution is included in the reports parameter. So reports are easy to read. Reports should be easy to read and understand, and it also provides recommendations for improvement where necessary. So overall, health monitoring, issue resolution, and reporting are critical components of data encryption managed services to ensure that data remains secure and that the CipherTrust manager is functioning as expected. I'll talk about each of these services and its activities in detail in one of the upcoming slides. Before that, I will discuss the phase which is followed to ensure that the encryption EC's data encryption program is implemented successfully. A very important thing here to note is that to make the data encryption program a success for the organization, the client's identified team and the EC's managed services team must work together and share responsibilities. We also call it cross-functional support. So there are three phases of the data encryption program: pilot, build, and operate. And the client will need to transit through three phases to implement the complete data encryption program for their organization. However, we are flexible to modify the phases according to the client's need. For example, if a client is looking for only to manage the operate service, we are flexible to provide service only for the particular phase. I'll explain each service one by one. So in a typical three-phase data encryption program deployment, during the first phase, which is the pilot or the current state, where we meet with the stakeholders and identify and define the required encryption capabilities. For example, file encryption, database encryption, or encryption for the data in transit. After understanding their initial requirements, we develop deployment artifacts and process on how we can achieve the defined requirements, and also develop an encryption rollout plan. Basically, a detailed strategy outlining the implementation of encryption for an organization's data or network. The plan outlines the steps and procedure that will be followed to ensure that all sensitive data is encrypted and protected from unauthorized access. The rollout plan typically includes a thorough assessment of all sensitive data, including its location and classification, is conducted to determine what data needs to be encrypted and protected. Based on the assessment, encryption requirements are defined to determine the encryption algorithms, key size, key management process, and other relevant parameters. We also provide an implementation plan. The implementation plan is broken down into phases to ensure that the rollout is manageable, scalable, and effective. Each phase should have defined objectives and deliverables and timelines for the completion. Then after the plan, we can select encryption tools and products based on the defined requirements, encryption tools, and products are selected that are best suited to the organization's need. In our experience, we have selected and deployed Thales CipherTrust Manager for many of our clients, and it helps fulfilling 95% of the organization's needs. Before deploying encryption capabilities on a large scale, a test and a validation phase is conducted to ensure that the solution meets the requirement and objectives defined in the plan. Once the solution has been tested and validated, it is deployed in stages according to the implementation plan. After the deployment is completed, the solution must be continuously monitored to ensure that it is functioning properly and effectively. Maintenance tasks such as software updates and key management are also included in the plan. Now coming to the bid phase, we also call it expand phase, where the CipherTrust Manager or any other encryption solution chosen by the organization is deployed and need to be configured. For example, with CipherTrust Manager, we develop a plan and configure the solution according to the organization's encryption policy, standards, and procedure. And we also ensure that the existing policies and procedure are compliant with the industry standards and best practices. Coming to the operate phase, in this phase, we identify the solutions which is still needs to be, or applications which is still needs to have the encryption capabilities, and roll out encryption for those remaining applications. We ensure that the deployment is completed and it is ready to transition to the steady state in the operate phase. And the operation phase also includes ongoing operation and maintenance of the CipherTrust Manager and onboarding additional or new application as required. Now, one of the most important part, as I discussed earlier also, is building and operating a cross-functional support, where both clients team and our encryption consulting managed services team will work together to deploy the CipherTrust Manager with our data encryption program. A security architect from the client's end to provide security oversight, architectural advice, and recommendations, which will help with the program socialization. The client's key stakeholders to provide oversight and accountability of program, coordinate with other stakeholders as required. They will also help us facilitate the application onboarding, implementation, operation, and manage the solution. The identified client stakeholders from the client side will also support onboarding activities, test and validate post encryption activities, and also help engage with the change management team if required. So encryption consulting will provide consulting support throughout all the phases, and we will work hand in hand with the client. Here is EC's data encryption operating model. As we discussed in the earlier slide, about 3 of these services, app onboarding, policies, and the health monitoring. Now I'll deep dive into each services and its activities. In the data encryption operating model, we have clients' ownership, governance, and oversight, basically enabling process and policies and define roles and responsibilities need to drive cross-functional IT, CISO, and business collaboration to achieve the program's mission. So let's talk about the activities EC's data encryption managed services team will perform with the support of client's team. So for the application onboarding and offboarding service, we will assist with the pre-encryption questionnaire to identify and prioritize application assets. We will develop a deployment artifacts document, example, application checklist, onboarding tracker to support all the phases of the program, pilot, build, and operate. EC team will conduct workshops with the application team or stakeholders to confirm the scope of the encryption capabilities for identified applications. We will also help identify potential barriers with platform configurations and create new configuration with Thales CipherTrust Manager. During the app onboarding and offboarding service, we'll also engage the infrastructure owner and conduct a pilot deployment in a non-production first, and then deployment will be in the production environment. EC team will develop a rollout plan for the build phase based on the encryption selection criteria, criticality of the assessment results, etc. EC team will assist to create and deploy encryption security objects or keys for guard points and encryption policies, and will also validate and fine-tune the existing encryption policies and enable encryption integration points. So we are not only developing the new encryption policies for the client, we'll also validate the existing one. The team will assist with the CipherTrust Manager agent installation, also known as CT agents, and configuration as well. During this service, we expect our client's team to supervise the program and help EC team coordinate with the identified stakeholders and also help identifying and prioritize application assets. For the policy and key management operation services, EC team will perform troubleshooting and configuration management for agents. We'll also manage encryption key versioning and lifecycle management of keys and fine-tune and update existing encryption policies if required. We'll help create knowledge base and general articles to support Thales CipherTrust Manager platform for the client's team. The EC team will develop and maintain operational guide for Thales CipherTrust Manager, which will help the organization's operation team to follow and work on any day-to-day activities. We'll assist the system administrator in monitoring and reviewing endpoint agents and guard point failure systems and agent logs, basically troubleshooting any issues for the CipherTrust Manager. When required, we will also participate in workshops to troubleshoot issues with the key stakeholders and vendor to maintain the data encryption platform. During this phase, we expect our client to review and approve the encryption policies, the new one or the updated one. Also help coordinate with the internal team for change management tickets if required. Now for the health monitoring service, EC team helps maintain Thales CipherTrust Manager platform, endpoint agents, perform platform health checks, and works with change release management team. We also assess the client's team to conduct annual disaster recovery tests and manage and monitor backup and restore of the CipherTrust Manager appliances. We also provide reports and response to issue periodically. For example, license usage, agent versions which are in use, and what would be the desired agent version, etc. We provide operational report and maintains release and upgrade document. During this phase or service, we expect the client team to coordinate and socialize the reports and recommendations of the program and review and approve the Thales CipherTrust Manager upgrade paths and plans. Here is a detailed description of operating models, roles, and responsibilities specific to build and operate phase, and it also shows the support window EC will provide. The client's security architect assigned to the program will help define and provide advice on the security architecture design of the Thales CipherTrust Manager solution, along with EC subject matter expert. The security architect will also assist in selecting of applications and approve the encryption policies. The key stakeholders or IT operations of the client, there are two roles. One is project manager, who will be assist in selection of the required applications in scope for the encryption capabilities. engage with the application team stakeholders, and coordinate the onboarding process. They also allocate program resources and track the deliverables and reports and provide status to the leadership. The project manager will work with team members to identify and remediate project level risks and issues. Whereas the tool owner will act as a primary point of contact for application teams throughout the onboarding process, socialize encryption requirements, and roll out plans with application team and cross-functional organizations group. The tool owner will also conduct workshops during onboarding process, troubleshoot, and knowledge transfer sessions whenever required. Now, coming to the EC's managed services team, will have three resources. One, service delivery manager or the SDM, who will provide subject matter advices and will be the primary contact for EC's managed services team and will monitor the project resources, including the day-to-day activities and budget. The senior consultant has the hands-on knowledge or hands-on experience of deploying encryption and key management solution. He or she will provide engineering support along with the consultant assigned for this program to develop, test, and deploy the Thales CipherTrust manager or any other encryption or key management solution selected by the organization. The consultant will be available 24/7 and will help managing the operations throughout the week. Encryption managed services offer several key benefits for organizations that need to secure their sensitive data. EC provides 24/7 monitoring, incident response, and issue resolution service to ensure optimal system performance and security. Here are some important benefits. So expert and support, encryption managed services provide access to a team of experts who have the knowledge and experience to implement and manage encryption solutions effectively. This reduces the burden on internal IT teams of the organization, and it allows them to focus on the critical tasks or other critical tasks. Reduce risk of data breaches. Encryption managed services helps minimize the risk of data breaches by ensuring that the sensitive data is encrypted and protected from unauthorized access. This reduces the risk of data loss, theft, or exposure. Simplified key management. Key management is a critical component of encryption, and managed services can simplify this process by providing automated key management services. This ensures that encryption keys are generated, stored, and managed securely and efficiently. Compliance with regulations. Many industries and countries have regulations that require data encryption to protect sensitive data. Encryption managed services help ensure compliance with these regulations by implementing and managing encryption solutions that meet the required standards. Scalability and flexibility. Encryption managed services can scale and adapt to the changing needs of the organization. This means that the encryption solution can grow as the organization grows, or it can be scaled down if needed, making it cost-effective and flexible solution. Our experience with a CipherTrust Manager. So CipherTrust Manager, in our experience, is one of the most utilized encryption and key management solution in the market. We have deployed and configured and managed CipherTrust Manager for many of our clients, and some of them are currently using our data encryption managed services. So let's talk about some deployment use cases here. As you may know, the CipherTrust Manager is a hardware software-based appliance, and you can obtain the desired version and appliance type as per your organization's need. In a scenario with one of our clients, we have deployed CipherTrust Manager physical appliance on-prem and integrated the same with on-prem HSM for more secure key management activities. For another client, we have deployed CipherTrust Manager in their cloud platforms such as AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. With this client, they had a security policy required for generating and storing the master encryption key in a hardware security module or HSM. So after the deployment of each CipherTrust Manager appliance in the cloud providers or cloud platform, and on-prem HSM was integrated to all the appliances. CipherTrust Manager can be deployed and configured for hybrid platform as well to manage the encryption keys. For example, you can deploy CipherTrust Manager on-prem and also in the cloud environment like AWS, Azure, and build a cluster out of all the deployed appliances. And this is a classic example of centralized key management and simplified key lifecycle management. We have also performed migration for our clients to the desired version of CipherTrust Manager from the old version of Thales Data Security Manager, also known as DSM. So in summary, EC's data encryption managed services with CipherTrust Manager can help the organization to secure the sensitive data and manage of the encryption keys across the organization without any worry. So this is all for today, and thank you so much for joining the session. We appreciate your time and presence here. Let me know if anybody has any question. Over to you, Kanisha.
Thank you so much, Pranashri, for that great presentation. I know that we do have a lot of questions coming in for this presentation that you gave. Please remember, if you do have any questions, please put it in the Q&A box, and you can find that at the bottom of your screen there. And I'm going to start with a question that I see here right off the bat for you. The first question is, can data encryption managed services be integrated with other security measures?
That's a great question. Yes, data encryption managed services can be integrated with other security measures to provide a more comprehensive security solutions. For example, access control such as multi-factor authentication and role-based access controls can be used in conjunction with data encryption to ensure that only authorized users have access to the encrypted data. Also, data loss prevention solution can be used to monitor data in motion and prevent sensitive data from leaving the network. Firewalls can be used to protect networks and prevents unauthorized access to encrypted data. And firewall can also be used to prevent unauthorized decryption of data. Yep. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. And I do have another question that I'm seeing here. What are the database use cases that will support CipherTrust Manager?
Database, MongoDB and Komodo, many databases, CipherTrust Manager CipherTrust Manager can integrate with any databases with the KMIP service.
Okay, perfect. And I hope that answers the question. Then a next question that came in is how do I ensure compliance when using Encryption Consulting's data encryption managed service?
Determining your first, I think we have to determine what your compliance requirement is. So identify the regulatory and legal requirement that apply to your organization or the organization of, the industry your organization in, such as HIPAA, PCI DSS, GDPR, and others, and determine which data needs to be encrypted and level of encryption required and how long you need to retain the encrypted data. And also in this matter, choosing a trusted provider of the data encryption managed services who has experience in your industry and can provide compliance support, such as encryption key management, auditing, and reporting. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I hope, yes, I do hope that answers the question for whoever asked that. Another question we have here is, why should the businesses consider selecting encryption consulting as the data encryption managed service provider?
That's a very interesting question. So when you select our data encryption managed service, the business should consider several factors. So our experience and reputation. So we as a managed service provider has a proven track record of providing encryption services. We have experience in managing encryption keys, implementing security policies, and monitoring data transmission to ensure data protection. Also, our flexibility and scalability. We are flexible and scalable. We offer a service that can be customized to meet the business specific needs. Whereas it's for a small startup or a large corporation, we have the ability to scale up or down as the business grows. Performance, our data encryption managed service program ensures that the data is encrypted and decrypted in real time without affecting the system performance. And we offer excellent support and customer services, including 24/7 availability, quick response times in case of any issues and emergencies. Also, our cost of service is reasonable and affordable, taking into account the business budget and expected return on investment.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answers the question. Another question just came in is Thales's 4-metric DSM to CTM migration. Any downtime is required without impacting any application? Question mark.
Yeah, so for the migration, what we do is like we don't need a downtime because we take a backup and we will be migrating the backup first. We first configure or install the CipherTrust manager, and then there is a process of migrating the complete old backup of the DSM to the CipherTrust manager. So we do not provide any downtime on that case.
Okay, thank you for that explanation there. Another, I guess, similar question is, can you provide an approximate timeline of the data encryption program phases?
Okay, approximate timeline. So in typical scenarios where EC's managed services is used for all 3 phases for an enterprise level organization, our estimated timeline for the build and operate phase, the first 2 years, we primarily focus on building encryption capabilities through a heavy expand phase, while the program will transition into more steady state of operation phase or as of year 3, and onboarded applications will still get operational support throughout the build phase and beyond. So it's more or less to build the complete thing, it's more or less a 3-year depending on the requirement of the client.
Got it. Okay, thank you for that. And another one here that I'm seeing is, what are the costs associated with using Encryption Consulting's data encryption managed service?
Cost, it depends on, I mean, we do not have any approximate cost which I can say right now. It will be decided after a thorough discussion and understanding of the client's use case and number of endpoints, etc. Like once we have a discussion with the client, and then only we decide on the cost.
Thank you, Deborah. And another question I have here is, how does data encryption managed service differ from traditional encryption methods?
So the traditional encryption method require businesses to manage their own encryption process and keys, which can be complex and time consuming. And managed encryption services, on the other hand, are provided by a third party provider and offer a simplified and streamlined approach to data encryption.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Basically, this frees up the business to focus on their core activities while ensuring that the other data protection is taken care.
Got it. Okay. I see another question here. Client isn't aware that what type of sensitive data is stored on DB and application. How do you identify and classify the encryption solution? How will your team help? How will our team help on this?
Okay, so if the client is not aware of what a type of sensitive data is stored in their DBN application, then we can help them with the data discovery capability. We'll help them discover their data, where if they have unstructured data, structured data, and we'll also analyze their data classification capabilities, and according to that we will go ahead with identifying the data and defining what use cases they need.
Okay. I'm not sure if we answered this already. There's quite a few questions coming in. What action are you taking from your end of the encryption if the encryption is breached or compromised?
Yeah, that is a worst case scenario, I would say. And we do take care of the compliance and industry best practices, and we ensure that we are using the best or the latest encryption algorithms. And in case it is not, it's the data gets still breached, then in the worst case scenario, company has to bear that cost.
Got it. Thank you for that. And that definitely makes sense. I see. And yeah, if anyone has any other questions, they can be definitely typed in the Q&A box at the bottom there. It seems like there might be.
So I think if anybody has any more question, they can send us an email at info@encryptionconsulting.com, and we would be happy to respond to those.
Absolutely. And okay, here's a question that just popped up. Can you combine your encryption services with other authentication methodologies such as authentications?
We did other authentication methodologies such as multi-factor authentication and things like that, but we can include this also as per the requirement. We haven't performed any use case particularly on that, but this can be included.
Okay, good to know. So I know, because I don't see any more questions right now. As Pranashri said, if there are questions, you guys can always send us an email, and we have the contact information on the screen there. Feel free to contact us anytime, and you can also visit us at encryptionconsulting.com. We also have our online community, which is growing, and I'll put that in the chat there. You can join us, continue the conversation there, connect with others, connect with even our team there as well. If you have any questions, please do that. Parna, I don't know if you have any more closing remarks, and then we can conclude.
Yep, I'm good. Thank you, everyone.
That's it. Awesome. So thank you, everyone, so much. Again, please feel free to connect with us, join our community, and we will see you soon. I'll look out for a newsletter with our new webinar coming up next month, which will be a really exciting one again. I think, yeah. Oh, Parna, do you want to answer one more question? It looks like there's one coming in, but someone really wants to answer. Do you mind?
Sure, please tell me.
question from one of the attendees is, what type of businesses have you consulted with, like such as
Okay, I
sports,
see the question, such as sports and
see it?
entertainment.
Yeah,
Yes, we have consulted with a company for sports and entertainment. We cannot disclose the name of the client at this point, but yes, we did.
awesome. Perfect. All right, so I guess that concludes our webinar, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Pranav. Bye.
Good day. Bye-bye.